I can't see the stoplight. I'm trying to be optimistic here. We're doing kind of a long lens city challenge here. Okay, this is when the magic is really starting to happen. Would I even be a proper photographer if I wasn't running late for sunset? I can't even see the stoplight, it's so bright. The sun is like perfect. Not for my face, but perfect for... This is chaos. This is chaos. I had no intention of shooting sunset tonight, but I'm trying to... I can't see the stoplight. You know when the sun lines up perfect? We got about 20 minutes to get to the spot. The spot is a simple spot, which seems to be my trend these days. But we are gonna try to get something fun. I was actually cleaning the house and I saw some high clouds and I thought, you know what, I got an idea. So now that I've driven away from the city and I can get a good look at it, looks like those light clouds may have dissipated. I thought about giving up and just turning around, going back to vacuuming and dusting my house. As fun as that sounds, Sunday chores. Then I thought, you know, if I sit there and for some reason it does light up, I'm gonna be so mad if I missed out. So we're gonna race out to the spot anyway and check it out. Man, this is the part any photographer can relate to. The moment you realize it's probably not gonna be that good, you're like pretty committed. You're gonna try to make the best of it, but I can tell I'm a little too late. I mean, the few clouds haven't lit up yet. There is no color. I'm trying to be optimistic here. I'm not gonna throw in the towel because we're just about there, but we're gonna try to get a shot. I do see some very faint high clouds. I don't know. Optimism. When you come around this corner though, tell me that's not pretty fantastic. Well, the light's not bad on it though. Let's see if we can hurry up and get to the little spot here. But yeah, welcome to Somerset. Ooh, I guess, oh, sun's still up. It's still up a bit. We need more snow. You got Bellevue out there. Got the Olympics behind Seattle. All right, let's see what we can figure out here. Definitely not the most romantic spot for sunset, but there's a lot of good little spots kind of off the... This is Somerset Road right here. And so this is like the Somerset community. I think they got a couple dollars around here. I'm not sure. Views like this. But actually, got a nice lineup here. So I like this particular zone just because the way that the Olympics sort of complement the city. So they're just right behind the city. So we'll thread the needle right through here. Plus you got front row parking. Pretty nice. Now this is photography. All right, we will be rocking the Nikon Z8. I have the Sigma 100 to 400. Same lens we used last weekend. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. We're doing kind of a long lens city challenge here. Okay, so let's see what we're working with here. We're gonna zoom in here. I'll film some video on this camera too, and we can, yeah, light actually looks pretty good. Maybe I'll include the water in this one. I typically just go real tight on the city, but these trees, and we kind of have layers, so that might not actually be too bad. City has sort of an odd shape to it. It's very spread apart, so it's not real dense. There's certain angles you can make it look more dense, but I better hurry up and shoot this because sun is about to go down. All right, so let's get a real tight one in there. Yeah, we'll go like that. We're gonna be at about 300 millimeters. And I'm looking at, got about, let's go f11, let's crank that up a bit. So ISO 64, we'll go 1/10 of a second here. Make sure I got my 2-second timer so that I can release, hold still, take a shot. See how that looks. Do a little chimp here, make sure we're sharp. Yeah, okay, all right. So just running a little video here you guys can see. So that's 300 mil. Pull back a little. I'm trying to decide if including that water would be worth it or not. These are the clouds that I was seeing earlier, and it's too bad they're not showing over the Seattle here. There we have it. So this shot, I included the water because I kind of like a little bit of break of layers and all that in there. Now's the tricky part because the mountains lose all the light. So depends, we'll wait for the city lights to come on a little bit, but the other downside, this being a weekend, something to keep in mind if you do plan on getting these types of photos or city photos in general, on the weekends, there aren't a lot of building lights on because obviously, you know, a lot of Seattle is not working during the weekend. So the big buildings, a lot of those are not lit up to full capacity. So if you can, try to get these shots on like a weekday. Something to keep in mind if you are visiting Seattle and you have the opportunity, weekdays are best. I'm gonna shoot a little pano here. So this is a cool feature. So what this does is this little attachment right here, the ball head sits on top of that. And when I unlock it, what I can actually do, see how I can swivel that part? So what I have a little spirit level on this side. What I can do is level that up. So that way, maybe I'm somewhere, like in this case, where I wasn't really planning on shooting a pano, so I didn't really put the legs proper and they're not quite level. So I can level up this base where the ball head sits. And now all I have to do is make sure I'm level on my horizon check there. And now I can pan back and forth and I'll stay completely level. A nice little luxury to have, but definitely not necessary. So I'm just going to shoot a horizontal pano because I'm in so tight. I don't really need to worry about getting that reach. But again, like I was saying earlier, the city is so awkwardly spread out that the Space Needle just sort of sits a little further on the outside. And that makes it where if you want to really compress those mountains in and get the right focal range, so 300 mil, like it's hard to get all the city in there. But yeah, I'm getting some color, just not over the city, unfortunately. Feeling like including that water a little bit. I think that adds a nice little flow through it. Mostly because there's not a lot of sky happening. If there was, that'd probably be just too much distraction. But I think it's okay to kind of keep some of that water in there. Got it all layered up. 2-second timer. If I know I'm not going to be really moving my focus around a lot of times I'll get my focus locked in and then I'll put it on manual, and that way it will just stay locked and it doesn't start searching, because every now and then you can get shooting away and next thing you know, your focus jumped and you didn't really catch it. Stuff like these shots, you know, it's really tricky to tell. The city looks so small in the viewfinder, you know, until you get it on a big screen. It's really hard to tell if you've really nailed your focus. Like even right now, I still don't feel good about that. So I may just zoom in and manually do it. You can also turn on focus peaking, but that even gets tricky with like city lights and stuff. See if I can see Bear from here, sleeping on the bed. And it's okay to shoot a lot, you know, even though it's the same shot, just because every now and then you may get a little vibration or a little movement that could, you know, translate into a motion blur or something like that. So it is important to sort of shoot a lot of photos when you're doing long lens, long exposure, just because you're going to increase your odds of getting something sharp. So as I was saying earlier too, from this distance, 300 millimeters, you're compressing so much that a lot of times in the warmer months, you'll see the heat coming off the building. And so what that does is it kind of radiates. There's like a radiant of heat, and it almost looks blurry. Your photos, like you can't quite get the building sharp. It just is sort of an odd situation. So that's why a nice cold day, what is it, about 41 degrees out? Yeah, it's just about right. Got a little bit of last glow. Man, that would have been nice if those colors would have come up here. Here's behind the scenes. Just hanging out with some electrical boxes and whatnot. But actually, it makes it very convenient for me to be able to set my little camera on here. Dang, Bellevue's looking nice too. I don't know if you can see that from here, but got Bellevue in the far distance. I've never photographed Bellevue. It's actually kind of funny. I've never bothered. I've thought about going over there and doing street stuff, but Bellevue, I don't know, the east side's they're kind of an interesting. Lock that in. So yeah, so I'll lock that on manual. 2-second timer, letting go. Okay, this is when the magic is really starting to happen. So city lights are coming on, and although, I mean, we have a beautiful gradient of color, you really don't need much sky, you know, thinking about it. So, I mean, look at that. We just have a sliver of sky, huge mountains, and the city lights are now coming on. We are shooting at 2 seconds, f14, ISO 100. We'll just kind of keep running that till my fingers fall off. It's starting to get cold. The chill is definitely, I have gloves and I always forget to put them on. It's so quiet out here. Yeah, nice night. Pretty stoked though. City lights are on. 4-second exposure now. This is when it starts getting a little tricky at this focal range. You really got to be careful because it's easy to be fooled. I don't know why I was thinking color mattered so much for the sky in this. I forgot that you really don't shoot much sky at all. So 10 seconds, f11, 250 ISO. I also increased my shutter release self timer to 5 seconds. I was noticing, so the little level, the horizon level, just see how just barely touching and it'll wobble. So I was feeling like once then I'll step back and wait. Now it'll release the shutter. That way there's no vibration from my hand. I'm not moving around the scene at all and just waiting 10 seconds for the exposure. Now's the good feeling. The feeling of content that I got out and shot some photos. Man, there's something about that. I don't know. I guess that's what I enjoy so much about photography is just getting out and doing it. I mean, it's like earlier I was saying, you know, this is when I'm not sure I should turn around. You know, you still commit to it. You get a few shots on the card, and it's like, oh yeah, this is why I came out here. You know, nothing astonishing, no crazy burn or anything, but just the fact of going through the motion, you know, and feeling like you tried something. It feels pretty good right now, you know, and I also have been really enjoying making videos, so trying to tell a story with tonight's photo shoot. There wasn't a whole lot of, you know, adventure about it, but maybe I had some tips and tricks that might help some of you new photographers, or maybe some photographers that just don't do this type of stuff. And you know, I'm happy to try to share the stuff I've learned over the years, and you know, I've had some pretty good success with Seattle photography. So if I can share that with people, you know, that makes me happy. But also, you know, it feels really good right now having essentially a video, one in the chamber. You know, I wasn't sure what I was gonna bring for, you know, I have just loaded a video today, and I wanted to have something ready for next weekend.